So real estate company Redfin lied to us? Remember when they were telling people to buy a house now because prices were never going to go down? Yeah, so it looks like their corporate lies have finally caught up to them. Just look at this San Francisco home selling for half off its original price. Definitely shows you how real estate companies and mainstream media have been capitalizing on FOMO and people's fears all along. More importantly, we see the truth, the stark realities of the housing market in both the city and across the US. The data doesn't lie. Almost 7% of for sale homes in the US posted price drops in October, surpassing any levels since Redfin began tracking them in 2012. They even admit themselves that 1 out of every 5 homeowners slashed their listing prices recently. And when we take a look, home prices are indeed falling across specific cities nationwide. Don't miss out on the exclusive reveal of Realtor.com's full list of cities experiencing the biggest rise in home price cuts since last year. Something that could be a real game changer if you're in the market right now. So what are we waiting for? Just hit the subscribe button and let's go ahead and dive right in. So here's the Redfin CEO himself, Glenn Kelman, admitting that home prices are indeed seeing some cuts.
It has been a fair assessment, and it's certainly why October came in so low. Rates were still at 8% back then, and now they're closer to 7.5%. But there has been a change in the market, a disturbance in the force, where for the first time, we are seeing inventory start to increase, both because people are listing homes and because old listings aren't selling. 1 in 5 homes have had price drops. What that bank said about prices coming down for the first time seems not just possible, but likely.
Okay, 1 in 5 are dropping their price.
And what really gets me here is how he's trying to play it cool, all while giving the vibe of a boss telling you that your job is secure when it's probably not really secure. I mean, maybe we just don't understand, right? Maybe the Redfin CEO really does care about us and working class Americans. Also, maybe the stripper really does care about us apart from all the other patrons and she really likes us genuinely. I mean, really guys, who do they think that they're still kidding, right? So yeah, guys, it's time to pay attention. Just check out this story. San Francisco home price drops $10 million, half its original listing as housing market collapses. The home in the Russian Hill neighborhood sold for $9,990,000 on November 9th after being listed in October 2022 at $19,995,000. The house sat on the market for almost a year before selling at almost half of its original list price in a city that is quite frankly becoming the embodiment of the nationwide housing slump. Now, it definitely does say something about the San Francisco housing market, doesn't it? The city is experiencing quite a cooling period with a median listing home price decline of 2.3% from the previous year. The reports from real estate website Real Deal show that 1 in 8 home sellers in the city and peninsula areas are enduring financial hits, with losses sometimes stretching into the hundreds of thousands. They're especially seeing this in the luxury market as high-end homes like the one I mentioned seeing the steepest price reductions. When I was telling my friends about this, a buddy of mine who lives in Austin, Texas, commented how he's seeing something very similar where they are. Now, according to him, Austin rent is dropping like crazy. A brand new unit is pre-leasing up to 90 days in advance for unfinished units. The one he just pre-leased was at $1,477, but he got it for $1,150 due to the lack of demand. Over in New York, there's this news article about a 3-story penthouse that just got a $55 million price cut. When the penthouse apartment at Midtown Manhattan's Central Park Tower listed last September, its sky-high $250 million asking price made it the most expensive home for sale in the nation, and at the very least, one that could have broken a New York City sales record if it traded hands for that space-high amount. Now though, having failed to sell for over a year on the market, the 3-story condo has gotten a giant $55 million price chop. That's about 22% less for the low price of $195 million. It's definitely surprising to see what some people are willing to pay. And in case you're curious, the reduction means that the penthouse is no longer threatening to dethrone the current record holder for New York's priciest ever home sold. Hedge fund billionaire Ken Griffin's roughly $238 million purchase of nearby 220 Central Park South in 2019 still firmly wears that crown. This is a monster of a place, spanning the 130th to 132nd floors of the building, which is not only the tallest tower on Billionaires Row, but also the tallest residential building in the world. It has 179 2 to 8 bedroom apartments. According to the developers, the original pricing for these units were headline prices, and they've already sold what they're calling a significant amount of the inventory at the top of the building, and now they want to get serious about selling the penthouse and another showcase unit in the tower, which recently had its $175 million price cut by 15%. Okay, if you say so. But looking at all of this, I'm not going to tell you guys that we're seeing a total housing market crash. I'm not going to be that guy. Instead, I can definitely say that we're at least seeing that the housing market's showing some cracks here and there. And as one Compass real estate agent put it, you can no longer price based off of where sales were. We'll look more closely at the current housing market later in this video, plus the top cities where prices are seeing the most cuts according to realtor.com. So just go ahead and stay right there. I just want to take a quick moment and thank you guys. A real big, huge thanks for watching this video, and a big thanks for always lighting up the like button. Your support means the world to me, so thank you. And if you haven't already, I highly recommend subscribing to the channel and tapping that notification bell. That way you always stay updated on the latest content. Now with that being said, let's continue. So yeah, it looks like Redfin has really been pulling our chain all this time. While they've been saying that prices are just going to keep going up and up and up, it turns out that a record number of sellers have dropped their prices on their listings in October, at least according to a new Redfin report. Nearly 7% of for sale homes in the United States posted a price drop during the 4 weeks ending October 29th, which is the highest portion since Redfin started tracking the data in 2012, and by far surpasses the 3.6% of homes that lower their price in an average month. As economist from Moody's Analytics explains, sellers need to cut prices to counteract their higher payments and to also keep buyers interested in their property in a market with fewer buyers. And even Redfin's research lead confirms it, saying that for the housing market to really move again, mortgage rates either need to come down or prices need to drop. Otherwise, the transactions will only grow very slowly over a long period of time as the lock-in effect gradually wears off and affordability slowly improves. I like what they said here though. Sellers want last year's prices and buyers want next year's prices. That's why they've been expecting price cuts throughout the winter. And we definitely did see some of that happen, especially in the cities with the highest price drops list from realtor.com coming later on in this video. As real estate experts explain, while some homes were likely priced too high to start off with, many had to adjust quickly to price aggressively as the market trends downward. You can no longer price based off of where sales were and assume that you'll get the same or more. Moody's Analytics predicts home prices will drop by about 4.5% over the next 2 years despite low inventory. Basically put, rates will remain higher for longer, and experts are expecting demand to remain very low in 2024, especially considering the fact that following 2 years of double-digit price growth, the housing market remains overvalued according to many, and affordability is a near 4-decade low. So most probably they're going to be seeing that sellers will capitulate on list prices. Now looking ahead, institutions like Fannie Mae forecast a bottoming out of home sales in early 2024, followed by a slow rebound. And while it's expected that mortgage rates will likely dip a little bit in the coming year, the recovery isn't going to be a quick bounce back by any means. But mind you guys, even though the housing market has slowed down somewhat, especially in the used home section, a major crash in prices is not on the horizon. It's more about finding a balance between affordability and keeping the market stable without needing a drastic drop in home prices. Experts think that as incomes grow over the next few years, affordability could slowly get better even if mortgage rates and home prices stay exactly where they are. Now, if that happens and things do stay where they are, economists say that it might take roughly 3.5 years or so for the housing market to get back to more manageable levels. 2 years if mortgage rates drop by 1 percentage point. They're also noting that there's more action in new housing markets located in cheaper areas to live. Builders are throwing in incentives, and remote work flexibility is persuading some home buyers to opt for homes in cities like Phoenix, Austin, and Minneapolis. But what I can say though is that even with the current market slowing down, experts are cautiously hopeful. If the economy avoids a recession and bond market steady, a further cut in mortgage rates could really help make owning a home more affordable. Depending upon where you live, you could already be seeing some price cuts in the housing market. After a few years of unprecedented price hikes, buyers searching for a home will be glad to hear home prices are indeed falling across specific cities nationwide. Of the 50 largest metropolitan areas in the US, 14 have seen an increase in the share of price cuts to homes for sale than when they compared year over year in September. In those cities, the share of homes homes that have had their prices lowered relative to the city's whole inventory pool have increased year over year as well. For example, Memphis, Tennessee tops the list. The share of homes with reduced prices across Memphis's real estate inventory totals 22.6% thanks to a 6 percentage point increase, making it the metro area with the largest increase in home price cuts year over year. So here's Realtor.com's full list for you guys. These are the cities with the biggest rise in home price cuts when they did this comparison in September. Top of the list, Memphis, Tennessee. Next we have Indianapolis, Indiana, San Antonio, Texas, Louisville, Kentucky, St. Louis, Missouri, Cincinnati, Ohio, Birmingham, Alabama, Columbus, Ohio, Oklahoma City, Richmond, Virginia, Kansas City, Missouri, Virginia Beach, Virginia, Baltimore, Maryland, and Minneapolis, Minnesota. In a news release, their chief economist at Realtor.com called the rise in reduced price homes a small break for buyers on top of the usual seasonal factors that kind of align to make this the best period to buy. Now, of course, they're still quick to say that affordability will remain a concern for home buyers as long as larger factors remain at play. Mortgage rates have in fact gone down some, but they're still at their highest levels in decades. Inventory remains depressed as homeowners are trapped by their existing low mortgage rates, and home prices remain near the peaks that they reached over the summer. So what exactly am I saying here? Basically that Redfin tends to gloss over these finer details in favor of saying those attention-grabbing clickbait headlines like housing is never going to go back down or better buy a home now or else. The reality is, though we may not see a total housing market crash, we can definitely see some local price cuts in certain regional markets. It's not as black and white as mainstream media makes it out to be. That's why you guys have me, telling you the real truth behind the headlines and mainstream media noise. Let me know if you want more of this kind of content, the kind that really brings the people in power to account. Drop a quick comment down below and show your support. Your kind words always help me keep going in what we're doing here. So I just want to thank you guys. I'll see you on the next one. Same time, same place. All right, great. You guys take care now.